Our next story is from the Mediterranean Sea, or rather two countries on either side of it, Italy and Tunisia. These two nations are in the middle of a storm, a wave of illegal immigration. Italy is the entry point to Europe for a lot of migrants. Tunisia is often their African exit ramp. So Italy has been trying to shut the gates by showering Tunisia with funds. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was back in Tunisia this week. It was her fourth visit in the past year. She signed 3 new agreements with Tunisia, promising them over $100 million in both cash and credit. Here's our report.
Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was on an important visit. She took a short trip across the Mediterranean to the North African nation of Tunisia. It's a familiar destination for Meloni. She's been going to Tunisia quite frequently to hold talks with the country's president, Saied. This is Meloni's 4th trip over the last year, and she made this announcement after her meeting.
Today we signed 3 very important agreements: a deal to provide direct support to the Tunisian budget, a new line of credit for Tunisian small and medium-sized enterprises, and a framework agreement for cooperation in the university and higher education sectors.
Cash, credit and scholarships. That is what Meloni is offering Tunisia. How much? 50 million euros in cash, directly to Tunisia's state coffers. Officially, it's to promote renewable energy projects. Then there's the credit. Italy will extend a 55 million euro credit line, officially to support Tunisia's small and medium enterprises. So Italy is giving Tunisia 105 million euros. That's about $112 million. What's the reason for this generosity?
Clearly, this cooperation has been yielding many results. I want to thank the Tunisian authorities for the work that we are jointly carrying out against human traffickers. Clearly, we know that Tunisia cannot become the destination country for migrants arriving to the rest of Europe.
Italy is basically paying Tunisia to deal with its immigration problem. Italy received almost 156,000 migrants last year. That's almost 50% more than in 2022. Most of these migrants took off from North Africa in rickety boats, risking life and limb to find a better life for themselves. Often, the first port of call is Italy, the tiny Italian island of Lampedusa. It's closer to Tunisia than it is to Italy. And thousands of migrants land here every year. Italy has struggled to house these migrants, so instead, Meloni wants to stop the migrants before they set off. That is where Tunisia comes in. Meloni hopes that by showering funds on Tunisia, the country will thank her by stopping the migrants. There's an obvious problem with this plan, though. What happens if Italy stops sending money? What happens if Tunisia starts asking for a bigger cut? Their president is Saied. He's been accused of subverting democracy, of expanding his presidential powers. What happens if he needs more money from Italy to realize his vision? He knows that he can hold a sword to Europe's neck. Is the EU comfortable giving him that much power? Meloni does have a bigger plan. She plans to invest 5.5 billion euros in the African continent. She's hoping that this will spur development and incentivize some African migrants to stay in their home countries. But people don't just leave their countries for economic reasons. They also leave because of political repression, the kind Saied champions. So is Meloni's Tunisia outreach short-sighted? Is she spending hundreds of millions to create an even bigger problem?